Hello and a very good morning. You're watching the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television with me, Frank Pereira. Here are this morning's headlines. Djokovic spoils Federer's dream of 8 Wimbledon titles as he lifts the men's trophy at the All England club. Leander Paes and Martina Hingis bag the mixed doubles crown, making it 3 titles for India at the tournament. Eurozone leaders locked in a meeting in Brussels to thrash out a Greek deal temporary exit from the euro among options on the table. Talks on Iran's nuclear deal in final phase. Negotiators in Vienna hopeful of historic deal today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrives in Tajikistan on the last leg of his 8-day Central Asia tour. Prime Minister expected to seek cooperation against terrorism from Tajik leadership. And a 40-member CBI team to arrive in Bhopal to begin investigation into the multi-crore Vyapam scam. Supreme Court had handed over the probe to the central agency. Well, we'll begin the bulletin this morning with some sports news. Now, in the men's Wimbledon final, the world's best player wore down the world's favourite player in 4 sets. Defending champion Novak Djokovic saw off 7-time champion Roger Federer to win his 3rd Wimbledon and 9th Grand Slam title. The first man to successfully defend the Wimbledon title since Federer in 2007. Djokovic also ruthlessly shattered Federer's bid for a record 8th All-England club triumph. Here's more.
In the end, it was not as much a nerve-wracking final as one saw last year at the All England club, but with the same world's 2 top players facing each other, it was a match that saw everyone on the edge of their seats. Despite the crowds cheering game's next to God, Roger Federer, who was hoping to become the first man to win Wimbledon 8 times, while number 1 Novak Djokovic showed nerves of steel, producing a brilliant display to beat the Swiss 7-6, 6-7, 6-4, 6-3 to become Wimbledon champion again. And after the victory, savouring the famous centre court's grass again, while coach Boris Becker and his team celebrated in the stands. This is the Serb's 3rd Wimbledon and 9th Grand Slam title, as Djokovic overtakes the likes of Jimmy Connors, Andrea Agassi and Ivan Lendl in the all-time list of major winners.
I just proved to myself that I can do it again. I think that's the most. Obviously I'm an emotional guy. I go through tough moments in the match like he does and like anybody does, really.
The adrenaline rush showed in the first set itself as second seed Federer scored the first blow, breaking for a 4-2 lead. But Djokovic hit back immediately, saving 2 set points and running away with the tie break, winning it 7-1 as Federer crumbled. The second set also went into a tie break, Federer taking it 12-10. However, in the 3rd set, Federer was broken early. A short rain delay halted Djokovic's progress, but when play resumed, Federer was powerless to stop the top seed's march to victory. Djokovic came through in the next 2 sets to win in 2 hours and 56 minutes.
I still think I had a great tournament. You can have good tournaments without winning as well, at the end. I still won 6 matches, lost 1, so the ratio still remains very good, but of course you sort of walk away empty-handed,
It was Djokovic who came up with the big serves when it mattered, saving 6 of the 7 break points, 2 of them on set points in the opening set. Federer sparkled, but the Serb's power and precision proved too much for the 7-time Swiss champion, and the best man on the day won. Federer, for the 2nd consecutive season, was deprived of becoming the first man to win 8 Wimbledon titles and its oldest men's champion in the Open era. With last night's match, Djokovic takes his majors to 9, Federer remains parked on 17. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, it was indeed a match that was fit for a Wimbledon final. Meanwhile, of course, Leander Paes and Martina Hingis won the mixed doubles title at Wimbledon, making it a memorable tournament for India. Hingis, a day before, partnered with Sania Mirza to win the women's doubles title. The icing on the cake for India was Sumit Nagal, who won the boys' doubles title as well. Here's more.
India's big wins at Wimbledon this year: Leander Paes, Sania Mirza and Sumit Nagal. pace and Sania partnering with the Swiss great Martina Hingis to win the mixed doubles and women's doubles respectively, while Nagel created history by bagging the Wimbledon's boys doubles title. It was a 16th Grand Slam trophy for a vintage pace. Partnering with Hingis, the 7th seed Indo-Swiss pair dropped the 5th seed Austrian-Hungarian team 6-1, 6-1 in a lopsided summit clash, which was over in just 40 minutes. It was Pace's 8th mixed doubles title and second with Hingis. They won the Australian Open earlier this year. For Sania Mirza, this was a maiden women's double title at a Grand Slam. She had earlier won 3 mixed doubles at the majors.
To me, to come out here at Wimbledon, I mean, this is something that we dream of as kids. You know, I always say this, every kid that picks up a tennis racket talks about winning Wimbledon one day or playing at Wimbledon one day, and we feel, I mean, I think I'm speaking for both of us, we feel privileged to be here. It means everything to be here today, and, you know, and obviously I think to be the #1 team in the world is very special for both of us.
For Hingis, her win with pace makes this her second Wimbledon title after 17 years. The last title she won was in the doubles partnering Jana Novotná in 1998.
It feels definitely like on the side of Sania, it feels like living it all over again. I'm happy to be out here and play at Wimbledon grounds, and I mean, it's above my expectations, but I have a great partner to pull me through, you know.
As for 17-year-old Sumit Nagal, he becomes only the 6th Indian to win a Grand Slam junior title. Nagal and its 8th seed Vietnamese partner overcame the 4th seed's Riley Opelka in the title clash that lasted 63 minutes. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, joining me for a chat this morning to talk about the All England Club and the famous Wimbledon, of course, is Jaideep Basu, senior journalist with me here in the studio. Jaideep, it was a brilliant Wimbledon as far as India is concerned, you know, winning 3 titles or 3 crowns at Wimbledon this year. Fantastic for Indian tennis, isn't it?
Yeah, it is fantastic for Indian tennis, but yeah, it's a great show because Leandro Paes has won his 16th Grand Slam title, and Sania Mirza has also won so many titles. At the same time, perhaps the tennis fan would have been a little more enthusiastic, more happy had there been an Indian in the men's draw, in the singles draw.
Yes, yes. You know, talking about men's singles, it was a fantastic final between Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic. In fact, there were several fans around the world, you know, and even on centre court, we saw the fans trying to egg Roger Federer on and hope that he takes it into the 5th set. But it didn't go to the 5th set, but nonetheless, a great game of tennis, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a great game of tennis, but Djokovic was too good, perhaps, except for the second set. I thought in the second set, Federer was a bit too lucky for winning it on a tiebreaker. Overall, it was great tennis, and certainly the deserving player won. Despite the fans egging for Federer, he was the second best player on the
Indeed,
court.
he was in the finals. He was the second best player, and probably in the tournament as well, he was the second best player because he went through the tournament very well. The way he dismissed or got rid of Murray earlier in the tournament, thought that Federer would put up more of a fight in the final, but that did not happen.
Yeah, see, Federer is certainly the second best player in the world. He played very well till the semi-final. As he said it also, that I have won 6 matches and lost 1. That's a great ratio. But Djokovic, as Federer himself said after the match, has been playing rock-solid tennis for the last couple of years. So he was the top seed. He was expected to win. He was the favourite, and he proved everybody right.
Is it the end of the Federer era now? Or do you think he's got one more Grand Slam in him?
See, I think that kind of aura he used to have till 2012 has certainly gone. We have seen through the results, the Grand Slam results, and even the ATP result shows. So it is an end of a Federer era that would be too harsh on him. He has done too much for tennis, so one should not. But now the Djokovic era has certainly begun. But Federer is no pushover. If he's not, a lot of people says that he's not playing that well. If he's not playing that well, at least he's reaching the final. A lot of people are not reaching there.
That's an achievement in itself.
Of course, that's an achievement in itself. He's the second best. He's not beyond that. So I think Federer will give it a push for another couple of years at least.
And you know, A word on Leander Paes, 42 years old, still going strong, winning his 16th Grand Slam title. I mean, how long is this man going to go on for?
I think he himself doesn't know how long he can go on. He's so good. And there will be another achievement for him apart from the he has done a yeoman service to Indian tennis, especially when it comes to Davis Cup. And
Yes,
I think
indeed.
next year, if he goes to the Rio Olympics, if he goes to Rio Olympics as a doubles player along with Rohan Bopanna, so that will be an achievement because that will be his 7th Olympics.
Well, the Indian colours do bring out the best in Leander Paes, and he's proved it in the past as well, that when he pulls on the Indian colours, there's no man who can beat him. Thank you so much, Jaydeep, for joining us on the programme and putting things into perspective for us and talking about the Wimbledon.
Thank you so much.
There's a look now at what else is making news across the world of sports in our Sports Wrap. Bangladesh cricket team continued their recent run of good performances by beating South Africa in the second one-day international by 7 wickets. Soumya Sarkar's fluent 88 not out helped the hosts chase the target of 162 runs. The victory confirmed Bangladesh's 2017 Champions Trophy berth in England. Spain's MotoGP world champion Marc Marquez won the German Grand Prix from pole position on his 6th win in a row. His Honda teammate and compatriot Dani Pedrosa finished second. 9 times champion Valentino Rossi finished third and extended his championship lead to 13 points. Manchester City have agreed a £49 million deal to sign England winger Raheem Sterling from Premier League rivals Liverpool. The 20-year-old did not fly out with Liverpool for their pre-season tour of Asia and Australia after being named in the squad. City had 2 bids for Sterling rejected last month. Well, it's time for a short break now, but still to come. Talks continue among EU leaders to thrash out a bailout deal for Greece and to save it an exit from the euro. That and other international news on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
New government in New Delhi. New faces.
People are not investing because they are scared of your tax administration.
New thinking.
An auction process is a fair and good process.
You cannot have a one-size-fits-all reform policy.
For insights and perspective.
Judiciary should be more concerned about corruption within itself.
The Modi government slogan of "अच्छे दिन आने वाले हैं." Soon the people's slogan will be "हमारे पुराने दिन लौटा दो."
The biggest show on economic policy. Watch State of the Economy.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Well, it's almost now or never for Greece. EU leaders are huddled in a meeting in Brussels that has continued with several breaks to thrash out a deal to ensure Athens stays within the euro. Several harsh measures are in store for Greece if it has to ensure its place in the common currency. Here's a report.
Eurozone leaders are locked in a meeting in Brussels in a bid to agree terms for a new bailout for Greece. The emergency summit is trying to find a compromise that will stop Greece running out of money and keep it in the euro. Eurozone finance ministers submitted a list of measures to the leaders following 2 days of fraught discussions.
We've come a long way, but a couple of big issues still are open. So we're going to put those to the government leaders, and it's up to them.
But some Greek government officials are calling the proposals very bad, even saying some are designed to humiliate the Greek Prime Minister and his left-wing Syriza government. The draft proposals put forward by Eurozone finance ministers include reforms set out by Greece to be ratified by Parliament by Wednesday, ambitious reforms to pensions and labour markets, international creditors to work on the ground in Athens and have full oversight of draft legislation, a possible transfer of 50 billion euros in valuable Greek assets to external fund for eventual privatization, and possible talks and swift negotiations on a time out from the euro area with possible debt restructuring if a bailout is not agreed.
I'm here ready for an honest compromise. We owe that to the peoples of Europe, who wants Europe united and not divided. We can reach an agreement tonight, if all parties want it.
The summit in Brussels paused twice to allow consultations between Cyprus, German Chancellor Angela Merkel, French President François Hollande and European Council President Donald Tusk.
Ich weiß, dass die Nerven angespannt sind, aber es muss sichergestellt sein, dass die Vorteile, die Nachteile überwiegen, und zwar sowohl für die Zukunft Griechenlands als auch für die Eurozone als Ganzes und die Prinzipien unserer Zusammenarbeit.
Il n'y a pas de Grexit provisoire ou pas, il y a un Grexit ou pas de Grexit. Ou pour parler tout simplement en français.
Going by the mood at the meeting, Greece is faced with very tough and little choices. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, in Vienna, world powers are huddled in a meeting on Iran's nuclear deal. The talks are in the final phase, according to one of the negotiators, as they set today's deadline. Here's more.
After more than 2 weeks of marathon negotiations, Iran and 6 world powers were close to nailing down a historic nuclear deal that would bring sanctions relief in exchange for curbs on Tehran's atomic program.
J'espère que nous entrons enfin dans la dernière phase de cette négociation marathon. Je le crois. Vous savez, la ligne qu'a choisie la France, qui est une ligne de fermeté constructive, eh bien, j'espère qu'elle va nous permettre d'aboutir maintenant, rapidement, à un résultat satisfaisant. Merci.
But Iranian and Western officials said they would be able to finalize an agreement probably by today. US Secretary of State John Kerry cautioned that some difficult issues remained on the 16th day of ministerial negotiations between Iran, the United States, Britain, France, Germany, Russia and China. Amongst the biggest sticking points in talks the previous week have been Iran's insistence that a United Nations Security Council arms embargo and ban on its ballistic missile program dating from 2006 be lifted immediately if an agreement is reached. The goal of the deal is to increase the time it would take for Iran to produce enough enriched uranium fuel for a single weapon to at least 1 year from current estimates of 2 to 3 months. Other problematic issues in the talks are access for inspectors to military sites in Iran, answers from Tehran over past activity, and the overall speed of sanctions relief. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, here's some more news from around the globe in our World Wrap. At least 28 people have been killed in a spate of bomb attacks in Baghdad. A car bomb in the northern Shab district killed at least 10 people, and a suicide bomber struck at a nearby market, claiming more lives. Another car bomb exploded in the Bunok district, killing at least 9 people and wounding several others. No group has claimed responsibility, but Islamic State is suspected to be behind the attacks. An explosion on Sunday in a tunnel near Aleppo's citadel in Syria damaged a wall of the fortress. Built in the 13th century, the citadel is part of a UN-listed World Heritage Site. Syrian government forces have been using the citadel as a military position. Government and rebel forces have been fighting for control of the city for over 3 years. It is not known which side caused the explosion. Malala Yousafzai, the youngest winner of the Nobel Peace Prize, celebrated her 18th birthday in Lebanon on Sunday by opening a school for Syrian refugee girls. On the occasion, Malala repeated her call for world leaders to invest in books, not bullets. Malala became a symbol of defiance after she was shot on a school bus in Pakistan in 2012 by the Taliban for advocating girls' rights to education. She continued campaigning and won the Nobel in 2014. Well, it's time for a short break now, but still to come, Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrives in Tajikistan on the last leg of his 8-day Central Asia tour. That and much more on the other side. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Hello and a very warm welcome to a brand new edition of World Panorama with me, Frank Pereira.
Barack Obama has been elected on the basis that I will no longer take America into wars, and in fact quite the opposite, I will pull America out of wars.
According to the Indian government, fishermen are not at fault.
The US intervention in Iraq set the stage for exacerbation of these conflicts, and then the intervention in Syria.
Watch World Panorama at these times on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Well, India and Kyrgyzstan have signed 4 agreements, including one on bolstering defense cooperation and holding annual joint military exercises. Visiting the Central Asian nation, Prime Minister Modi emphasized the need to combat terrorism during his talks with the Kyrgyzstan president. Here's more.
On the second leg of his Central Asian tour, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in Kyrgyzstan. He was accorded a ceremonial welcome on his arrival in Bishkek yesterday. During his one-day visit, Modi held delegation-level talks with Kyrgyz leadership.
My visit to all 5 countries in the region demonstrates the importance that we attach to a new level of relationship with Central Asia. We spoke at length about strengthening our relations in trade, investment, tourism, culture, and human resource development.
The two sides signed 4 agreements in key sectors, including on cooperation in defense and culture. 2 MOUs were also signed for cooperation between the election commissions of the 2 countries and in cooperation in the spheres of standards, a move that will help economic relation. Modi emphasized the need to strengthen the defense ties and cooperation in combating terrorism during a joint press conference.
We have shared interests in combating extremism and terrorism that has become a threat without borders. Our defense ties are strong. We have just completed a joint exercise, Khanjar 2015. We have decided to hold joint military exercise on an annual basis.
The defense agreement signed is aimed at deepening bilateral cooperation in defense, security, military education and training. Modi also sought increased connectivity between India and the Central Asian nations in the future.
Connectivity initiatives between India and Central Asia will boost our economic ties. I look forward to the launch of the telemedicine link with India. It is the first in the region, and it tells us about the possibilities of the digital world.
Modi arrived in Dushanbe, the capital of Tajikistan, on the last leg of his 8-day Central Asia tour. The Prime Minister is likely to seek Tajikistan's cooperation against terrorism after External Affairs Minister raised the issue with the Tajik President during the SCO summit in September last year. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, here's a look now at what is expected in the day today in our segment, The Day Ahead. Congress President Sonia Gandhi will host an iftar dinner today where leaders are likely to deliberate on the strategy for the monsoon session of Parliament that's beginning on July 21st. Some of those attending the dinner include Mulayam Singh Yadav, Sitaram Yechuri, Mayawati, Sharad Pawar, H.D. Devegowda, Kannimudi, Nitish Kumar and Farooq Abdullah. The only key absentee will be Rashtriya Janata Dal Chief Lalu Prasad, while Trinamool Congress lawmaker Derek O'Brien will attend on behalf of Mamata Banerjee. Home Minister Rajnath Singh will review the country's coastal security with 32 lawmakers and top security experts at a high-level meeting in Goa. The Home Minister will discuss with top security experts the steps being taken to strengthen India's 7,517-kilometre long coastline. As many as 18 members of the Lok Sabha and 10 of the Rajya Sabha will participate in the day-long meeting. The government will release the Consumer Price Index inflation for June. This would be the last retail inflation data before RBI's third bi-monthly monetary policy statement on August 4th. Retail inflation had hit a 3-month high of 5.01% in May. The monsoon session of the Maharashtra legislature will start from today. The session will end on the 31st of July, during which 14 bills will be taken up for consideration. The monsoon session is expected to be a stormy one, with allegations against some of the high-profile ministers giving ample ammunition to the Congress-NCP opposition to corner the BJP-led government headed by Devendra Fadnavis. A Delhi court will hear a petition in the coal scam case related to Jindal Steel and Power Limited. In the previous hearing, the court had directed the CBI to supply deficient copies of documents filed by it to the accused, including Congress leader and industrialist Naveen Jindal. The case pertains to alleged irregularities in allocation of Amarkonda Murga Dangal, a coal block in Jharkhand. Moving on now, after the directives from the Supreme Court, the CBI has formed a 40-member team to investigate the Vyapam scam. The central agency has a timeline of 10 days to submit its first report on the 24th of July. Here's a report.
A 40-member team constituted by the CBI will reach Bhopal today to take over the inquiries into a multi-crore recruitment scam in Madhya Pradesh. The special team will be headed by a joint director-level officer and take over investigations from the state police. Following the directive by the Supreme Court, the CBI has to file its report by 24th of July. CBI Press Information Officer said, and I quote, "In compliance to the orders of the Honourable Supreme Court of India, CBI has constituted a team to take over the investigation of all Vyapam-related cases. The CBI team will reach Bhopal on Monday and begin the process of taking over the investigation." Quote unquote. The apex court had ordered transferring of all Vyapam-related cases to the CBI after the Madhya Pradesh government gave its consent to transfer probe from the Special Investigation Team and the STF to the CBI. The order by the apex court came following several petitions seeking a CBI probe. The Congress that had also petitioned the court has claimed 49 people associated with the scam have died so far. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Here's a look at some other developments making news across the country in our segment Nationwide. The Manipur government withdrew a controversial bill meant for the protection of the interests of indigenous people after days of widespread protests across the state, which saw one student being killed last week. The government withdrew the Manipur Regulation of Visitors and Migrant Workers Bill of 2015. The bill was passed on March 16th by the State Assembly. At least 11 people were killed in incessant rain that swept across North India, triggering landslides and damaging houses in Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh, and several rivers were also flowing close to the danger mark. While 6 persons were killed in a house collapse in Uttar Pradesh, 2 died after being hit by a landslide in Kashmir. The death toll due to encephalitis rose to 21 in West Bengal, with another death in Kolkata yesterday. A middle-aged man who was suffering from acute encephalitis died late last night at the North Bengal Medical College Hospital. Out of the 21 deaths, 14 have been due to acute encephalitis and 7 due to Japanese encephalitis. The road leading to Hindu pilgrimage sites in Gangotri and Yamunotri was opened at Uttar Kashi on Sunday after it was blocked by landslides due to heavy rainfall. The pilgrimage was halted on Saturday after heavy rain continued to lash Uttarakhand, affecting normal life. Well, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the Breakfast News. Have a nice day.